my name's Chris Jekyll. I'm the executive chef at Alonda restaurant, and we're going to teach you how to make a crab and spinach dip today. The key to me is cheese. So most Italians are sort of have this feeling about cheese going into food, and I like pushing boundaries. So I think that it's sort of it's a key element that's sort of there, and in the background note, it's really not forceful, but adds a nice sort of like acidity and sort of cheesiness to it. The other one is salt cod. It has some of this briny, oceanic, coastal sort of funkiness to it, which I think adds a nice element to it, and it complements the sweetness from the crab. The first thing we do is pan, hot, obviously, okay? We go in with cream, we keep it very simple, and it's just enough cream to cover your cod. So the cod here has been rehydrated in water. You give it a rinse in the morning just to make sure that excess salt is gone, okay? And then we put it into the cream, and we're gonna just bring it to a simmer. You wanna really just get this to cook very lightly and gently. You don't want it to sort of get dry and overcooked. So this is really a quick process. It's only about 15 minutes or so once it's in, and you can adjust the amount of cream just to make sure that it's all covered. And don't add salt at this point. It's very, very important because you're not really sure how much salt you've removed from the salt cod when you're soaking it in the water overnight. So the cream will help remove some more of that salt if necessary. We also like to add a shallot, a couple of sprigs of thyme, and a few garlic cloves, okay? You want to crush the garlic cloves, add it in, okay? Just to release the oil from the garlic and make sure that it sort of dissipates into the cream really well, right? And you can turn this up pretty high if you want it to cook pretty quickly. Just make sure that you stir it every once in a while, because the cream will stick to the bottom. And you'll see once we do this for about 5 minutes, it'll be ready to go. The goal is to get the cod to become opaque. So when you see it here, it looks still raw. So you just want the cod to look like it's been cooked through. You can bring it up to as close to a boil as possible, but you don't want it to actually boil because it'll boil over onto your stove. Give it another minute or two and we'll show it to you when it gets there. If you can see in there now, it's all the same color all the way through. So we're cooked. And when you press into it, it falls apart really smooth, gently and easily, which means it's cooked through. So we're ready to go into the stand-up mixer. So now once you're there, just take a nice kitchen spoon. Don't be afraid to get some of this cream in here because you'll see we're going to incorporate some of that into this as we go. So we're using about, I'd say, a cup of this salt cod, okay? And we're going to use about approximately the same cup of crab meat goes into it. So it's about equal parts, so it's really a balancing of the two. You want to go in with just a little bit of the cream to sort of get the element going. All right, and then you want to go in with this equal part crab meat. You want to do this while it's hot. It's very important that you do this all in the same step. You don't want to cook the crab per se, but you want to be able to emulsify the olive oil into it. We'll get to there in a minute, and the olive oil won't emulsify smoothly unless it's hot, unless it's warm when you're doing this. So you want to put this on sort of a low to medium sort of speed, and you're going to watch this stuff really start to break up. And don't be shy again with a little bit more cream. You want to keep it hydrated, but the majority of your hydration you want to come from your olive oil. Cream is delicious, it's not so good for you. So you want to get that creamy texture from the olive oils. You want to drizzle the olive oil in slowly for the emulsification process. So you can see it coming together and staying sort of uniform, but you can really see it staying consistent. So keep it in mind, you can add either more of this cream if this is not too salty, or a little bit of fresh cold cream. It's not too salty, which is nice, which means it will take plenty of Parmesan, which we discussed earlier. It's sort of one of the secrets to it. It's the anti-Italian, but I happen to really enjoy it. The cheese will also help emulsify it. So the Parmesan is another element of that, where it's very, very salty. So you're adding just a touch of it. We're gonna taste it. If it needs more, we'll add a little bit more. And that's sort of the balancing of flavors. And then we're gonna add the spinach. Okay, and this is raw spinach. It's really quite easy, but you want it to beat up a little bit. So you wanna turn the speed of the mixer up a little bit, because what's happening here is you're crushing the cells. So it's going to release some of the moisture from the spinach, but it'll also give it that look, that like fresh spinachy flavor that you don't necessarily get if you're cooking it beforehand and incorporating it in. And here we have our crab and spinach dip with Parmesan and olive oil.